Disclaimer: I am not a doctor or any other type of medical professional. Nothing in this video is medical advice or a substitute for it. The resources I mention in the video, linked to in the description, or both, are just things I found online while trying to research this topic. I have not done anything to verify the information in those resources beyond them making sense to me. If you need advice on whether you are currently too sick to record or not, please consult with a doctor. The elephant in the room is a problem that everyone is aware of, but no one wants to talk about. It happens everywhere, including in the voice acting community. I'm Rebecca Amber Clark, and today I'm going head-to-head with the elephant in the studio, recording while sick. If you're sick with a sore throat, or you've lost your voice, or both, the best thing to do is to avoid talking as much as possible until you feel better. That's a no-brainer. The problem is when you're sick, and you still have voice acting that you want to do, or think you have to do. Most of the time, a sore throat or a croaking, gravelly voice only lasts a few days, or at worst, a couple of weeks. So why do some people insist on pushing through it? Well, there are several reasons people record while they're sick. The most obvious reason is probably procrastination. When you keep putting off recording for a project until the last minute, and you're faced with a sore throat and a deadline today, you might be too embarrassed to have to send a message to the project director and tell them why you can't get your lines to them on time. Or you might even be afraid of having your role recast to someone else. Of course, this could happen, but it's never happened to me personally. Most directors are a lot more understanding than you'd think. They're human too, and most likely just want you to get well before worrying about recording your lines. Obviously, the best way to avoid this situation altogether is to record your lines sooner rather than later, so you have a buffer before your deadline, just in case you do get sick. Even if you're on the ball with recording lines quickly without procrastinating, deadlines can still pile up if you try to put too many projects on your plate at once. I've seen voice actors try to balance an unbelievable number of roles at once. It's a house of cards that collapses the first time anything goes wrong to put a delay in your schedule. This is why it's a good idea not to take on too many projects at once. When you feel your schedule starting to fill up, record your lines for the roles you've been cast in already, before submitting any more auditions for new projects. It's even okay to stop auditioning altogether for a little while if your schedule is filled with long-term projects. Another reason that I've seen, most often with new voice actors, is with auditioning. When an audition deadline is coming up and you're sick, it's hard not to feel afraid of missing out. I've seen newbie voice actors ask on more than one occasion if it's okay to just go ahead and audition even if they're sick. But remember, audition opportunities are constantly changing. As soon as one opportunity closes, another opens. Trust me, missing that one audition is not the end of the world, or even the end for you as a voice actor. Or a voice actor might simply be a workaholic. It can be harder to recognize the signs of being a workaholic when it comes to a hobby, or even a career like voice acting that often feels like just a hobby. But if you don't know how to take a break, even when you're sick, then it might be time to step back, take a deep breath, and reevaluate how much time you're spending on voice acting. Toughing it out does not make you responsible or show how dedicated and passionate you are about your craft. It's just putting stress on your voice and risking doing permanent damage. And if your voice isn't in top form, then the director is likely to tell you the lines need to be redone in any case, and you'll have done it for nothing. But you might be wondering, what's the big deal anyway? Why shouldn't you just go ahead and tough it out, especially if your voice still sounds okay? It's only a sore throat, so what could go wrong? Pop a couple aspirin, and it won't hurt too much. Well, let's talk about what makes a sore throat sore. I'll leave a couple links in the video's description to some science references which go into a lot more detail and explain it far better than I can. I highly recommend An Inside Look, The Flu, which is kind of a long video at almost 25 minutes, but well worth your time in my opinion. In a nutshell, when you get sick with a sore throat, that's actual cells breaking down in your throat. It's not just pain. It's damage that's already there and needs time to heal. If you do something to make the pain worse, you're just adding to the extent of the damage as well as the time it takes to heal. And while many pain meds can have other effects like reducing fever or inflammation, keep in mind that just because the pain goes away, it does not mean the damage that causes the pain has gone anywhere. You've just blocked it off for a while so you don't have to be as uncomfortable. Worse, if you push yourself to record voiceover while you're sick, you could develop laryngitis or even cause long-lasting or permanent damage. Honestly, whether voice acting is your hobby or career, which is more important to you? Getting one project recorded a few days sooner now, or still having the full use of your voice for the rest of your life? Even if it doesn't come to that, how big a fan are you of having corrective surgery in your throat to get your voice back? Then again, you might very well push through a sore throat to record and have nothing at all happen to you. But is it really worth the risk? Of course, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and that's very true when it comes to getting sick for voice actors. If you're on the fence, maybe do get that flu shot. Wash your hands when you've been around crowds, especially when you've been around kids, been to a hospital or doctor's office, or during cold and flu season. Wash your hands before eating or preparing food. Hopefully, I shouldn't have to tell you to wash your hands after going to the bathroom, but remember that not everyone else does. So use a paper towel to open public restroom doors on your way out. Don't share drinks with your friends out of the same cup, and be careful no one's double dipping when you share food. People don't often think of this one, but don't share makeup either. And you know those disinfecting wipes the grocery store has for cart handles? Use them. If there's a really nasty bug going around in your town, you might even want to avoid going to restaurants altogether until it blows over. Remember, as a voice actor, you're a vocal athlete. And just like any other athlete, you need to stay in top form. You can probably get away with having an extra slice of cake, or 3, but you must protect your voice. Likewise, a competitive gymnast can still perform with no voice, but has to keep their body trim and in peak condition. No one laughs at Olympic athletes for watching their diet and exercise routines, so you have no reason to feel silly or like a germaphobe because you take steps to keep from getting sick. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the video, or it gave you something to think about, consider subscribing to catch future episodes. What's your opinion about recording while sick? I'd like to hear from you, so please share your thoughts in the comment section. Remember, these elephant in the studio problems can never be solved unless we all start talking about them.